Before I start the video, this will just be a quick update on things. I know this isn't a review and I said I'll be doing reviews weekly, but I decided not to do it because I just figured out two reasons why I shouldn't. First off is the fact that the amount of work I was putting into them and the amount of demand I was getting wasn't enough for me to do weekly reviews, and plus I just knew I would have got burnt out eventually due to doing reviews like every single week. So I thought I'm going to just try and introduce this new thing I've been wanting to do for a while into the channel, and this video that I'm doing will be somewhat of a redoing of something I did on my original channel, Jzone Productions. But due to that channel obviously getting suspended, I'm going to redo it, make it more up to date for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy. Tell me what you think about it. So without further ado, let's get onto the video. This video on AMA will be on the three types of haki, haki can also be known as ambition. Also, if you would like to follow on, I'll give you a link in the description so you can go to the One Piece wiki arc where you can find out more information on haki. People may wonder why I have such a high level of appreciation for each roader's work, and one of the many reasons why I do is the amount of planning, structure and just foreshadowing he puts into it. Haki may be something that has recently taken over the One Piece world, but if you actually look back, in Volume 1, Chapter 1 of One Piece, you can actually see that Ichiro Oda had it in mind from the very start. I can tell you this from when Luffy gets thrown into the sea and Shanks goes to save him. He looks at the monster fiercely and intimidates him. That's actually one of the three types of haki. In this video, I'll be going over the three types of haki and pretty much saying what I think may happen in the future of them. But before I do that, let me just tell you what the three types of haki are. Color of observation, color of armaments, color of the conquering king. First off, color of observation, also known as mantra. Color of observation allows the user to avoid and anticipate the opponent's attacks. I also refer to it as mantra because back in the Skypiea saga, the main villain of that saga in the Skypiea arc was Inaru. Inaru was able to anticipate and then avoid Luffy's attacks. Now, the later example of this is one of the Boa sisters in Amazon Lily. She was able to also avoid and anticipate Luffy's attacks. This is somewhat similar to the Sharingan in Naruto. The Sharingan users can also anticipate and avoid people's attacks. And this is a pretty cool dynamic I feel to have in One Piece. It kind of balances out things. Here is an example of me showing color of observation. A few examples of known users that have the color of observation is Isa from the Sky Island, because she was able to hear the people's thoughts and feelings. Kobe, also Whitebeard, Inaru as I stated, Otahime, because she was able to hear the thoughts of the people around her. Like, it's like a sort of voice, we can hear what people are somewhat thinking. And it varies because some people are also just able to figure out what an opponent's attacking, but like Isa and Otahime were able to hear the voices of people around them and what their worries were, and what obviously can cause problems because Isa, being a little girl, it caused her to be very disturbed because the amount of sorrow she was hearing from the fellow people on the Sky Island. Next is the color of armaments. The color of armaments, I feel, is a really interesting one. I feel so far from what we've seen is going to be really great. The color of armaments acts as this sort of armor for the user, so they're able to, it's sort of similar to the government moves as in Tekai. Remember in the CP9 where Bruno, Lucci, Cauliflower, all of them were able to use Tekai, and it meant basically steal, and they'll get hit but it wouldn't affect them as much, the damage would go down. But color of armaments is similar to that, but it puts an armor around the user. So say if the Logia user were to attack you with their respective element, you could somehow like block it, and also you could hurt them, because as you know, Logias can take the shape of their element. Like Ace could take fire, Alkainu could do magma, Kizaru, who's a beast by the way, could also use light. So this can act as a real fold for the people that use the Logia fruits, because Luffy was always struggling with Smoker and he couldn't land a hit on him really. But now that he's able to learn this, he can actually land hits on him. So pretty good dynamic to sort of, again, balance out the playing field for people in One Piece. Some of the known users for colour of armament would obviously have to be Rayleigh, because he's hacks. Sentomaru, he displayed it when he was battling Luffy back in Shabandi. Boa Hancock, Boa Meringold, Whitebeard, Kizaru. Many people use this type of haki, and I think this one to me is like sort of is somewhat my favourite type of haki, just having that sort of armor around you to protect you from Logias, and it's not too powerful like the colour of Conquering King, and it's not as sort of low level as the colour of Observation. To me, it's sort of the middle playing ground, having the colour of armament. Lastly is the most powerful and the most rare, and just the one that makes you absolutely hacks, which is Colour of the Conquering King. And this basically, the user can sort of scream or just give an intimidating stare, and as I said, it will intimidate the opponents if they're weak enough, if they don't have enough raw power. In some cases, actually in many cases, it's been known to make some of the opponents collapse. Now there have been quite a few instances of this. Obviously in the Amazon Lily, Amazon Lily was a real great place for displaying haki. Luffy was able to do this when he was screaming out, saying to people, "Do not kill Margaret and her friend." Also, there was an example of this when this was a really awesome moment when Shanks went towards Whitebeard and went on his ship to warn him about what's going to happen with Ace and all that stuff. Shanks went onto his ships, and many people, low-level pirates, were collapsing from him just walking on because he was using Colour of the Conquering King. Another instance was Rayleigh. When Rayleigh's just a beast. Rayleigh is a pure beast. He came out when he was first revealed in Shabandi, and he used it and just made tons of people collapse. Rayleigh, however, I'll like to mention, has all three types of haki. So, yeah. Here is an example of me showing Colour of the Conquering King. Some of the known users for Colour of the Conquering King would obviously have to be Luffy, because Luffy has displayed it quite a few times. Also, it would have to be Whitebeard, Shanks, Rayleigh, because he's hacks. Also, they say that Ace displayed some of it, and Boa Hancock. So it's somewhat of a rare instance to have Colour of the Conquering King, but if you use it right, like Shanks, you can just take out many people without even trying. Now I'm just going to discuss a little bit about what I think of haki so far and future developments. As I said, haki is a really cool development in One Piece. A lot of mangas are starting to have this sort of element that they introduced to the series, where they have a sort of type of haki-ish element. I'm not saying Ichiro Oda was the first to do it, but they all seem to have it. Hunter x Hunter has its Nen, Reborn has its Flames, Naruto sort of has the Genjutsu, the Ninjutsu. They each sort of have these dynamics, and I really enjoyed the way Ichiro Oda introduced his dynamic, which was haki, because it was foreshadowed so well from the start, and it got built up all the way to the middle of the story, took place in the time skip, and now we're just seeing what, as Luffy's learned from Rayleigh, all the different types of haki, we're seeing what can be done with it. In one of the chapters, recent chapters, Luffy was using his he had this Gamu Gamu no Elephant Fist, I think it was called, or Elephant Gun, I think it was called, and he had his hand turned massive. I think it was in gear 3rd, and it turned all black, and I think that was the colour of armaments, making the rubber stronger and harder. And when rubber gets like heated up and stronger and harder, it goes into this state called vulcanization, which can make it go black. So I think that was also a display of that as well. I think like some of the people that I really wanted to learn haki was actually one of them would be Zoro, because I feel Zoro could put it into his sword and use it against some of the Logia users, because Zoro is the second strongest in the crew, so it would be great to see him use it against some of the Logia users, and I think he may come across one of them, as he is the second strongest. I think maybe even Sanji should have the color of armaments too, because as he's kicking some people with Logias as well, I would say Sanji's the third strongest. It would be nice to have him have armaments just to combat some of them. Also, even though this probably won't happen, I could see Zoro having I could see it, but as I said, I don't think it will happen. I could see him having the color of Conquering King, because he comes across as someone that's very intimidating, but at the same time, very few people have the color of Conquering King. It was interesting that when haki was being explained by Rayleigh, he stated that everyone that has had some type of fame or power in the sort of One Piece world knows or has used haki. So many people have haki right now that we don't even know about and could be using it. Especially, it was really great to see it in Marineford, because all types of people are using hakis, and it was just like Oda kept on foreshadowing it to that moment, which I think it was chapter 597, when Rayleigh was just going on about it and going on about the different types of haki. But I mean, I really enjoyed this element of One Piece. It was really well thought out. It was just what the show needed, and it, as I said many times in this video, it was sort of the way to balance the playing field, because the Logias could be tackled with obviously color of armament. Some people that aren't as fast, or when they're tackling someone that is fast, they could use the color of observation to sort of dodge their moves. I mean, I did say balance out the playing field. Color of the Conquering King could obviously make someone hacks, but even the color of observation, Otohime used it to help people, and I thought that was pretty cool as well. So tell me your thoughts about haki. Do you think it's a great element in One Piece that help push the story forward? Do you think that it sort of makes things unbalanced, or just tell me your thoughts? But anyway, it's been J-Man Seductions on the Jzone. Live and learn, good luck and God bless. Tell me what you thought about this video, about the AMA, that's what I'm going to call it, the Anime Manga Analysis. Tell me if you were on my previous channel, tell me if this was a better version than the one I did on my previous channel. But anyway, catch you guys later.